Today's a good day, I think, for alienating and annoying everybody with a video about a convention exclusive. Yes, indeed, today's subject comes from last year's Botcon, where the theme was G2 Redux, celebrating the desperate last gasps of G1 and the glorious toxic rainbow that was Generation 2. So what, there was like a pink Inferno, a camped up Onslaught, a couple of flouncy Prowls, and an ice-scorching Sideswipe. Not to mention a properly preposterous dino in the form of Cindersaur. So check out this Pimposaurus. Obviously, it's based on Beast Wars Megatron, specifically that 10th anniversary toy I totally knew existed before I started doing this review. Anyway, Cindersaur's in town to represent the notorious 1988 Firecons, which goes some way to explaining the tripped out colours. I mean, there's purple for Sparkstalker, green bits for Cindersaur himself, and oodles and schmoodles of Flame Feather's urinal cake blue. I can get with that. Check out his little noggin here, all scowly and angular. Certainly looks cheesed off about something. He's very nearly doing that Ninja Turtle scowl. His torso's kind of cool, but there's a lot of detail in there that sort of gets lost beneath the broad, sweeping paint apps. Still, I do love how 2/3 of his upper body is just shoulder pads. There's a fair bit of translucent kibble on the back there. I like to leave it splayed out though, it sort of gives him a bit of piss off. His waist looks a bit suspect with all these exposed joints and whatnot, but the posability is insane. I mean, check it out. Ball joint, swivel, knee, ankle, toe. I mean, toe joints. That's ridiculoso. He's having a bit of a laugh with these giant ugly saddlebags here, but he does make up for it with his sprawling dino slippers. And finally we come to the arms, and this is where things start to go a little bit bananas. He's doing that whole my entire right arm is a beast head thing, which is dumb, but I've kind of made peace with it recently, so we'll let it slide. Now the other arm, on the original Megatron, it was just a tail, and I hated it. This guy at least actually has an arm, so I guess we'll give him a point, but it's so shriveled and malformed, it's really only any use for holding the weapon, which obviously had to be the tail, didn't it? Snore. But at least this tail actually does something. Just pop in the old G2 Planet Key, and wham! And then blam! So the robot mode is pretty tight, but it's undeniably really silly. I've always thought that this Megatron design is really stupid and dumb and ugly, and seeing it blurted out in comical neon as the novelty brainless sidekick, I kind of get the feeling I'm not the only one. Transformation's not too obvious, but it's simple enough, and I'm always surprised by just how tidy the dino mode ends up. I mean, check it out, it's an ugly, yet slender T-Rex. A lot of the purple and green gets hidden inside his belly, so this guy turns out mostly blue, which is fine with me. Again, the paint does kind of make light of a lot of the biomechanical detail on there, but I'm finding it hard to care because I think that counts as light piping. Woohoo! Dayglow Dino! So yeah, most of his posability does carry through to his dino mode, but due to the nature of a T-Rex, it's all in his legs and his head. His head's really neat, but sadly it's a little bit on the weak side, so he can't hold any open jaw poses. But still, because of his multi-jointed neck, he can actually pull off the dino head turn, that rarest of maneuvers. If you're feeling saucy, you can even turn it all the way upside down for some epic dislocated jaw screaming. Check out his eyes too, green and beady or bloodshot and horrifying. His legs are wicked too, they can do all kinds of bending, and he's got like optional feet. You can do them like long and broad for posing, or like narrow and tall for being bigger than most robots. Sadly the tail's completely solid and doesn't move, but you can still use the gun inside, although that does mean jamming the planet key right in his butthole. Ugh, I can't do it. So there you go, Botcon review number 1. Probably won't do any more exclusives. Feel a little bit weird now, but come on, I like this toy and I just wanted to show you why. Big Botcon big ups to my badass buddy Brentosaur. Bye!